Gun violence impacts communities all across the country, and of course that includes Northern California.
So we wanted to get a little bit of a better understanding of why there's a jump in the shootings during the summertime. And for the next 3 days, we're going to be hearing from the police chiefs of the two biggest cities in the greater Sacramento region, as well as community organizations who are working to try to curb gun violence. Tonight, though, we're starting with the trends that are in gun violence.
Dr. Garen Wintemute with the UC Davis Violence Prevention Center joins us live. He is a physician with UC Davis Health, specializing in emergency medicine, and he is also an expert on the public health crisis of gun violence.
So, Doctor, thanks for joining us. Let's just get started here and talk about why certain communities see a spike in gun violence during the summertime months. What's at work there?
Sure. Most communities do, both in California and nationwide. Rates of violence tend to go up in the summer. For what we call community violence, violence out in public places, people are out more in the warmer weather than they are when it's cold and wet. People may have more discretionary time in the summer if they're not in school and so forth. And many more factors have been superimposed by the pandemic and its consequences, but we might get to that separately.
So we have some data from the CDC detailing the number of firearm deaths over the past 2 decades, and we can show our viewers the number of deaths in California and also the U.S. overall. We hope to bring them that graphic, and basically it shows that in the early 2000s, the number of deaths in California was proportional to the number of U.S. deaths in the U.S. per population, and then a divergence over the past decade. What do you make of that?
The divergence, I don't have the visual in front of me. I'm going to assume it's on the screen for your viewers. There's been a decline in California over the course of this century that the rest of the country has not seen. And to put it in broad terms, we're doing something right here that the rest of the country appears not to be doing it, at least not uniformly. And we have a crew tackling the question, what is it, or what are the things? As President Biden said, there's no one thing. What are the things that we are doing well here that other states could do?
And so let's just talk through some of those things.
Sure. So at the policy level, we have enacted additional restrictions on who can purchase a firearm. You can't buy a firearm for 10 years if you've been convicted of a violent misdemeanor crime. We require background checks for sales of firearms by private parties. We have a mandatory 10-day waiting period so that, and it can be longer if needed, so that we don't inadvertently release a firearm to somebody who's prohibited. But we also, work harder than many states, I think, at community violence intervention. Many of the programs that President Biden was alluding to were developed here in California or got their largest pilot tests here in California. So the idea is to focus both on the supply of firearms for crime, but also on the demand for them, the things that make crime seem necessary to a young person.
Let's go back to something you mentioned earlier about the pandemic. Are we seeing more gun-related crimes because of the pandemic, and can you kind of see any trends from last year versus what you've seen this year?
Yeah. Again, the answer is not simple, but I can reduce it to, oh, yes, we are. Early on, a year ago, January, gun sales went far above expected levels. And through the spring, and we published a study on this, the size of the increase in violence, state by state by state, was related to the size of the increase in purchasing. But then George Floyd's murder, many other things happened in society. Rates of violence increased through the summer, and the independent signal related to gun purchasing got, I think it's fair to say, lost in the mix. But let me fast forward and broaden. Across the nation, rates of homicide went up by 25 to 30% last year. We have never seen, ever, a year-to-year increase of that magnitude. And the available data through the end of this year, so far, the first half of this year, say that we're seeing, again, a 25 to 30% increase, 2021 over 2020. Unemployment is part of the picture. dislocation is part of the picture. But the thing that we're going to be studying here in particular is this. Beginning a year ago, January, and continuing right through the end of June with no sign of letting up, there has been a 60% increase in gun purchasing. Those guns are now out there. The dice have been thrown, and we know that an increase in gun availability is associated with an increase in gun violence. All of us who study this issue, whether we are researchers or cops or policymakers, are predicting a very rocky time ahead.
Well, I mean, you lay out some interesting facts there and also some conclusions, and we'll continue to follow this right along with you, Doctor.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, you can't solve a problem unless you understand the problem, so we appreciate the research.